Hello everyone. In last lecture, we have seen about the internet forensic. In that, we seen what are the different types of attacks performed on the internet, performed using the internet, and also we discuss attack type in that pre-intrusion attack, pre-intrusion activities, then password cracking techniques, technical exploit, malicious code attack that we are discussing in last lecture. So today we are going to start with the password cracking. जर आवाज वगैरे येत नसेल तर सांगा लेक्चरला. आवाज येत नसेल, दिसत नसेल तर आणि बोलून सांगा. नाहीतर चॅटमध्ये लिहिता समजत नाही इथे. Okay, so first one is the password cracking, understanding password cracking. So whenever the attacker wants to enter in our system, at that time the attacker must know about the user ID and password, because without it the user cannot enter in our system. So for the breaking the authentication or the breaking the security, the user must be follow the following techniques. First one is the use the brute force. Second one the recover and exploit the password stored on the system. Third one is the make use of password decryption software, and fourth one is the social engineering. So these are the different ways used to break the authentication. So first one is the brute force. We already know about it. Maybe you learn this in a networking. So in the brute force attack, the attacker will try all the possible combinations to crack the password until the attacker gets success. So here the attacker perform the trial and error method, where attacker guess user's ID and password and use that. Also, the attacker may prefer the dictionary. It's not a literal dictionary. It find out the different words. Using that, the attacker can crack the user security. The brute force attack is performed manually. This attack is also known as the dictionary attack. So why it is called as the dictionary attack? Because the attacker will try all the word as a password and check whether it work or not. Password cracking is also used for legitimate use. For example, an employee may left the job suddenly, an employee may die, and it may be possible an employee may forget his or her password. So in brute force, the attacker attack on such type of system. This system is not regularly used. Maybe the employee left the job, or if employee died, or if employee forget their password. So due to some such issues, the user cannot access the system, and such system attacker used to attack and get the confidential information from the system. So okay, so to retrieve the important file, password cracking is used. This is also known as the password recovery. It is advised to create link and the complex password. So generally, the user must enter the complex password, because it must be combination of uppercase letter, then some special character, lowercase letter, and numbers also. So and minimum 6 characters or 8 characters must be there. So this precaution must be taken by the user while entering the password. The password is not the pet name or the birth date or the phone number, because this can be get easily by the attackers. There are some tools available which allow dividing the task into parts and also using many machines simultaneously to work on it. This technique is called as the distributed attack. So in distributed attack, the user make the password critical by dividing the task into different parts. So this is the first one, that is the brute force. Let's see the second one, that is the recover and exploit the password stored on the system. So casing a password is a tedious job. So if we follow or if attacker follows the brute force method. So it's a very tedious job to guess the password and check whether if it is work or not. So the attacker can use the second method, that is recover and exploit the password. If the attacker's list of the password which may be on the hard disk of a computer. So here the attacker get the file in which the user write his password. Some people use the different password in the organization for the different purpose, so they store their password on the system's hard disk or somewhere where they can get in case if they lost store copy on the system. The cracker just has to acquire these files. So mostly the people who working in an organization use different softwares which require the user ID and password, and for different application the user set different password, and it is very difficult to remember all these things. So what they do, they just keep their user ID and password in a file, so that if they forget the password they can get easily from it. But attacker use their file to get all the IDs and password, and they attacker tried for the different application and check whether it's work or not. Generally we are using Gmail, Yahoo, then Facebook, then our then also we are using internet banking, and for each application we require the ID and password, and it is very difficult to remember all the password because if we do not use the application for long time we can't remember the password. Also we have to remember the ATM password also. So it's very tedious job to uh, remember all these things. So instead of that, we store our ID and password in a particular file on the system, and attacker take advantage of this. Attacker attack on system and get such type of file, and from where the attacker use the ID and password and check on the different application. If it is work, then it's good for the attacker to get all the data on the system. Here we are. Yeah, some people use the here we complete, I think. Some people do not store the password in the plain text format. They store the password in encrypted or the hash format. If the cracker can get the encrypted password files, then attacker use the software program. So most of the people or the user are technically savvy. They are not store their user ID and password in a plain text format. Instead of that, they use encrypted text. So they apply some algorithm on it and convert their ID and password in encrypted format. So whenever the attacker get that files in that the password are in encrypted format, the attacker try to convert it into the decrypted format by using some hash algorithm on it and get the plain text. This method is, and when user get that decrypted text, the attacker try it on different applications. So this is known as the compare analysis. So this program uses all the hash function the system uses and encrypts the possible password. Then compare the result with the encrypted password in the password file. This method is known as the comparative analysis. Next one is the interception password. So this is one of the famous method that attacker use to get the ID and password. So first two methods are very easy to implement, and it they are easy to implement, but the attacker difficult to get the ID and password because in first method it's only guessing. We guess the user ID and password, and in second we try to find out the files on the system. But the nowadays the user are very technically savvy. They are not keeping their confidential information on the system. So the attacker must use the third way, and third way is the interception of password. Crackers every time do not capture the password file or the guess the password. When the password sent across the network through the remote access connection in the form of plain text, then the password may get intercepted by the attacker. So whenever the user use any web application or any application that is connected with the server. At that time user enter their ID and password, and that password moves through the network, through the packet. So here here the attacker try to get that packet by creating the by using the sniffer software, and they try to get the password from the network, and whenever they get in the network they can use it for the different purposes. So crackers or hackers every time do not compare the password file or guess the password. When the password sent across the network through the remote access connection in the form of plain text, then the password may be get intercepted by the attacker. So here the attacker is the intermediate between the user and the server. The attacker get the password from the user when user tried to log in the server, and for that the attacker or the cracker use the sniffer software. Another technique to intercept the password is the keystroke logger. So this is the second way to get the user password. The keystroke logger is a hardware device or the software program. It captures and records the every character including password. So this is the second way where the attacker or the cracker use the keystroke logger application. Using that, when the user enter some character using keyboard, that must be recorded in the software, and hacker gets that file. So whatever the user type on the system, everything get by the attacker by using the software keystroke logger, where the all the recorded is stored. So here the attacker get the information using keystroke logger file. It captures the record and every character including password. The next is the a device time maintain reflect meter is used to detect the unauthorized packet sniffer on the wire. It sends the pulse down the cable and generates the graph of reflection that return. So here the network administrator use the TDR, and in TDR the TDR is the application used to detect the unauthorized packet sniffer. So whenever the attacker or the cracker use the sniffer program or use the sniffer software, the network administrator comes to know using TDR. Here it shows in a graphical format. If the graph comes down, it means the sniffer programs run on our system, and network administrator break that system. Next one is by reading the graph, we can find whether the unauthorized device are attached to the cable. There are also some techniques like PNG, TNS, ARP also help to catch the unauthorized sniffer. So there are also some techniques that used to crack the password like ping, DNC, sorry, to crack the unauthorized sniffers like ping, DNS, ARP, etc. Next, third way is the make use of password decryption software. One byte patching. The one byte patching technique is used to decrypt the program. It decrypts the password simply by changing one byte in the program. So whenever the user enters his password, the password must be in an encrypted format, and that should be decrypted by the cracker. And for that, the cracker use the software that is one byte patch. It easily decrypt the encrypted file, and hacker gets the password here. Next one is the no plain text method. In this technique is used with algorithm. The attackers already have obtained one or more decrypted files, and attacker use the same method to decrypt the other files which contain the same algorithm. So in non plain text method, the in this technique, the user use the different algorithm to encrypt the files, and same algorithm used by the cracker or the attacker to decrypt the files and get the data. This technique is used to attack the password protected files like .zip, .rara, and arg files. Next one is the social engineering. Social engineering requires a social abilities and individual communication to make somebody to uncover the security related data and maybe even to accomplish something that allows an attack. So here the attacker use different method to get the data. The attacker use the social abilities to get the social abilities and individual communication. So the attacker communicate with the user, make maybe the attacker make friend of it and get the confidential information. The fundamental thought process behind the social engineering is to convince the victim to be useful. So maybe the attacker be the user's boss and get the all the confidential information by pressurizing him. So how to prevent from it? So prevention and response. The password is the main and the first line of defense to in system and network to prevent the password from cracking. So these are some precautions that should be taken care by the user when they create the password. So use long password, use special character, avoid actual names and words. Do not tell your password to anyone. Do not write the password. Change the password regularly. So these are some ways using that the user can protect their data. Next, protecting the network against social engineering. Social engineering is a big challenge to administrators. Some people on the network are vulnerable to network. The intruder may be the use by telling stories of extra cost will incur if the user spends extra time for the verifying their identity. So here the attacker make friend of user and this the attacker tell some stories to the or any create the scene and get the confidential information from user. The attacker may impose himself as the top authority of the company and he may threaten the employee with loss of job or any other action if the employee does not cooperate. So here the attacker be the authority of company and pressurize the user by uh, lost their job, employee with loss of job or any other action taken by the authority authority on user that who will not cooperate the attacker. In social engineering prevention comes through the education rather than technical. तर यामध्ये बघा सिम्पली काय केलं जातं, जो कोणी अटॅकर आहे तर तो काय म्हणतो एक मोठा ऑथॉरिटी असं दाखवतो कंपनीचा आणि त्याच्याकडून कॉन्फिडेन्शियल इन्फॉर्मेशन गेट करतो की तुझा युजर आय डी पासवर्ड दे मला चेक करायचे रेकॉर्ड सगळे असं सांगून आणि त्यावेळी जर युजर जर देत नसेल तर त्याला जॉब जॉब घालवण्याचं वेगळं टेन्शन देऊन तो काय करू शकतो त्याकडून ती कॉन्फिडेन्शियल इन्फॉर्मेशन गेट करू शकतो. Okay, next point is the understanding technical exploit. So just we come to know what are the tricks used to break the password. So let's see the new point, that is the understanding the technical exploit. The attacker uses the various techniques to get the access of the system and network. The technique is used by the attacker exploit the characteristics of the protocol, operating system, and application software used on the targeted network of the system. There are many technical exploits which the hackers uses to get the access network. So attacker generally used to find out the different techniques to get the access of network. So sometimes they exploit the protocol, sometimes the attacker exploit the operating system, or sometimes the application software. So your attacker must know all this information because without this, the attacker cannot get advantage or cannot get all the details regarding the system. So for that, the technical exploit is important. Next one. First one is the protocol exploit. The most important characteristic of the protocol is the handshake method. We all know about the handshake method where we perform just authentication, then communication, and then close the connection. Communication and acknowledgement, and then close the connection. First establish connection, then communication, acknowledgement, and then close the connection. The attacker exploits this characteristic by flooding the targeted system to the point so that the system is unable to communicate with the user. So first, the server can communicate with the first authenticate the user. After that, whenever the user try to communicate with it, the attacker exploit this thing and just make the floating in the targeted system. The server cannot communicate with the user. They also manipulate the network protocol and flood the network server so that no authorized user can communicate. So the attacker makes some trick, makes some floating in the network, flood in the network so that the authorized user cannot communicate through the network. So there are different types of protocol exploits using DOS. We all know about the denial of resource sources. Okay, Saurabh, you can leave. The first way is the DNS DOS attacker. This attack exploit. So DNS DOS exploit the DNS protocol. Sing-lang attack exploit the TCP handshake. Ping of that exploit the attacker kill the packet and flood system. Ping, flood, Fragile and Tsunami attacks. These are the methods used to flood the network. UDP bomb and UDP snork exploit the UDP. Teardrop attack exploit the IP packet. Exploit of SNP exploit the TCP/IP communication. So let's see what is the denial of services. Okay, we cover this point. We have 8 minutes. A denial of service attack do not does any damage or not steal any information. This attack brings down the network and denial of services to the legitimate user. The software or the DOS attack is easily available. So in denial of services, the attacker or the cracker just take care of now, just the attacker brings the network down. It does not steal any information. It does not damage the network. It does not. It just make unavailable of network to the genuine user. The software for DOS attack is easily available. The purpose of DOS attack is to make the network inaccessible by generating the network traffic that crashes the server, floods the router, or make the network devices function improper. So in DOS attack, the attacker just unavailable the network to the user. For that, they perform the different activities like creating the network traffic, crashes the server, flood the router, make the device function improper. So all this variety of works done by the attacker by implementing the DOS attack. The DOS attack can be performed by trying up the server resources like flooding the memory and CPU. Then this is the simple one. The distributed DOS it's more complicated. It can attack on the one system and distributed the DOS attack on different system. So distributed DOS attacks mediator computers called the agents on this computer program called zombies. So here the attacker targets the one system which is known as the agent, and uh, on that system the attacker install the software, DOS software, that is known as the zombie. The hacker activates this zombie program remotely, causing the mediator computers to simultaneously launch the actual attack. The attack comes from the mediator computer running the zombie program on the network. So the attacker target one machine, that is agent, and on that the zombie programs run, and it will affect all the systems that are connected to the agent. So the hacker can easily hide true origin of the attack. Distributed DOS attack possesses two layers threats. It's not only attack the network but also crashes the server and prevents the server incoming and outgoing traffic. So distributed DOS causes two activities. It just attack on the network and it also crashes the system. So here we end the session. If you find any difficulty, let me know. Just put your attendance in chat box so I can make record of it. Okay, should I save the file or anyone remember remain? Do not write 2 to 3 times. Okay, I save the record. So here we end the session. Thank you for watching.